And we are live. Today is June 4th, 2024. And this is your man, Dr. Rory T. Edwards, and you're on House Calls with Dr. Rory T. Edwards. Been away for a while, but definitely want to come back and fulfill what my obligations were to the three things that I discussed previously, the two things I discussed previously, and today's topic, which is high school to college recruiting process, what that looks like. We know that a lot of people, school is over, and a lot of people have signed to schools, and hopefully they went through the right process, but they might have a younger sibling, or they might have a cousin, or you might have a grandchild, or you might have a child, or you might just be navigating this process on your own. And I'm going to give you some things and some tips that can actually help you to make sure that you have reached and have fulfilled your obligations in getting recruited. Now, the other two topics I talked about were the NIL, which is very important, but also I'm going to dab a little bit today into the college portal, because this is going to affect a lot of high school people graduating and wondering why they're not getting scholarships. This is what it's going to be about. But first and foremost, as I already spoke for over a minute, I want to send my condolences out to the Hudson family in the wonderful city of New Britain, Connecticut. I want to send it out to Tara, Ronnie, Beatrice, Mrs. Hudson, on the passing of their patriarch, Mr. Henry Hudson. And definitely wanted to say he was a major influence in our lives as kids. So definitely want to send that condolences out, because without men like him, there'd be no men like me. And so we want to just send that shout out to the family and let them know that we are keeping them in our prayers. So as we move forward, again, this is your man, Dr. Rory T. Edwards, and we're on with House Calls, and really excited about where this is going, because I just got a call, or I got an email today from another gentleman who says that the world needs to know about me. And I have traveled the world, I guess I can say quietly, but have made some impact throughout the world with some of these messages. But I truly appreciate that he believes the world needs to know about me. And I also believe in timing. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about some of the things. I'm going to give you like 10 things that I think you need to understand to help you in your journey to get academically, athletically into college. And then I'm going to give you a gem at the end. I'm going to provide you families with 10 questions that you should ask of the recruiter who comes to your house to make sure it's the right fit for you and your families. So let's get right into it. The first one is your academic eligibility and preparation. Now, most people think that it's like back in the day. You can go out, you can play good, people are going to see you, you're going to put out a YouTube video, you're going to do all of that, IG, Instagram or TikTok or something, and people are going to see you and they're going to flock to your house and they're going to recruit you. Well, that's not exactly the process. First and foremost, athletes must meet the NC2A or NAIA academic standards, which is including a minimum GPA of 2.5, and also you must have taken the required core curriculum courses. So if you don't know what core curriculum courses are, guess what? You are not on the right path to receive an academic or an athletic scholarship. So you must find out first and foremost what's your academic eligibility and preparation on how you take the courses. Now, these courses don't start in 12th grade. To take the right amount of courses and the required courses, it starts in ninth grade. So if you are an aspiring athlete who wants to potentially pursue athletic scholarship, talk to your guidance counselor. Make sure your coach gets you in the right place to make sure you are taking the right core curriculum courses. And it's not basic math. It's not just I'm in an English class. There are certain requirements that are going to put you in place so that you don't have any speed bumps in the road when you get there. Now, what's the second thing? The second thing is standardized testing. I always suggest to families that I'm working with that you need to start taking the SATs or the ACTs in about 10th grade, because in most cases people get to the end and then they realize I didn't take the SATs or the ACTs. Well, you need to take those because those scores can affect your recruitment. Athletes should aim for scores that meet the meet the excess and exceed the interest requirement for their targeted school. Also, whatever school you desire to go to, make sure that you know what the SATs and ACT scores are to get into that school. Just because you're an athlete, and I know people say, well, athletes have special privileges. Well, to a degree they do. But you also have to really realize that you still have to come within a framework of what your SATs and ACT scores are, so that the school will not be sort of questioned through like the NC2A or any other institution that might have been trying to recruit the same person. Because, you know, this is not fair play in athletics, because if I want you, but you go somewhere else, I'm going to make sure that they're staying above board on you getting into that college. What's the third thing? Recruiting is not just for athletes. So I do a lot of tournaments, basketball tournaments, volleyball tournaments, and we see some parents who are a little overreactive. You bring a lot of toxic energy to the environment. And sometimes you think that you're just supporting your child. Well, you don't know who's in the audience looking. You don't know who's in the audience recruiting. You don't know what's going on. And so for you to get your child in college, colleges also have to be comfortable with you. And if you acting buffoonerish and you are running up and down and cussing out the coaches, cussing out the officials, doing all that, screaming, tell your baby to shoot, tell your baby to run, tell them screaming at the quarterback to throw the ball to your baby, colleges don't want that. So I'm trying to explain to you, if you're a parent, be a parent. Be a supportive cheerleader. You don't have to be the most aggressive individual on the field for your baby, because your baby's talents will rise above the rest if he or she is the best. So please remember that colleges are not just recruiting the athlete, they're recruiting the family. All right, so that's number 3. Number 4, NC2A or NAIA registrations. You know, you have to explain the process of going through the NC2A eligibility center or the NAI eligibility center. This step is essential for athletes to be eligible to compete in college sports. So if you are, please go to the NC2A or NAI eligibility page and sign up to make sure that your name is in there so that you can meet the criteria for being eligible. Now, the other thing, next thing, creating a compelling highlight reel. Now, I've had people send me reels all the time, and the first thing that stands out for me is the music, right? The people that you're sending this reel to, probably, in most cases, I would bet on it, and I'm not even a betting man, but I would bet on it that they don't listen to the same music that you listen to. And again, I'm going to share a statement with you. People only know who you are on who you show them you are. So if you submit music that is explicit, is derogatory, is inflammatory, is racially driven, then that's how they look at you. They're not looking at your talent anymore. They're looking at how you believe you want to be perceived. And so if you send music that is all of the above that I just spoke about, I can guarantee you that most of those coaches do not listen to that music, and most of those coaches are probably secretly they say some of those words, but publicly they probably refrain from using any of that jargon. So please use music instrumental. You don't even have to use music. The music is you and your talent. You be the music. You conduct the orchestra of your talent without any music. So make sure that when you're creating a compelling reel, don't have it where one of your homeboys or homegirls is recorded and they in the background, in the back, people are using profanity and you're in the neighborhood and everything else is going on, because what that does is it ruins your chances for ever being recruited. And then you're going to say it's the system. It's not the system. It's how you utilize the system. Okay? Remember that. What's the next one? Excuse me. I'm about to. Excuse me. What's the next one? Proactive communication with college coaches. Make sure that you know how to communicate. Make sure that you know what to ask when you are being proactive in your communication with the colleges. Make sure you know what questions to ask, because they're going to know what questions to ask you. And if you don't have any questions to ask them, they're going to think about you a little different. Do you really want to come here? Are you really committed to understanding what our processes are. And like I said, at the end of this video, I'm going to give you some questions that all families should ask each college coach or recruiter who comes to your house to recruit your child. What's the next one? Understanding scholarship and financial packages. Most people are so excited when someone comes to your house and says, I'm going to offer your child a full scholarship. There's no such thing as a full scholarship. Scholarships are renewable every year. You may be offered a full ride, but stop performing. Stop performing and watch how your college scholarship will be removed from your portal. Stop performing. Get hurt that you can't recover and be the person that they recruited you to be. This is not a game anymore. As we move to the college ring, it becomes a business. If you're looking at colleges, you see how much money they make per year on athletic events. You see how much money the bowls make for the football. College football. You see how much money March Madness makes. You see how much money all of the things that are sports related, how much money they make. So this is a business for these institutions. This is a business for these coaches. So you have to understand that your scholarship is based on your ability to produce. So let's move on to the next one. Campus visits and recruitment trips. Now, if you're really good and you're really recruitable, people will now ask you and require that you come to a college campus visits and a recruitment trip. Now, make sure that when you go there, you understand what you're going for. Find out all of the things that while you're on campus, if this campus is for me. If this campus is for you, then make sure that you find out all the things academically. What do I want to do? Is the social content of the school something that I can fit into? Does it have all of the things that you believe are important to you? So make sure that when you do visit, you pay attention. But I want to share something with you. What's the difference? An official visit is paid for by the college and is a strong indicator of serious interest from a coach. Contrast this with unofficial visits, which are paid for by the athlete or their families. So if they're not telling you this is an official visit, you have to pay for that visit. So make sure when you go to the college, if you have to pay for it, make sure you get the most out of everything that you're looking for. Now, the next one is a verbal commitment. A verbal commitment it's a non-binding nature of an agreement. This agreement between the athlete and the college that precedes a formal letter of intent. So you will get a normal letter. You will get a verbal agreement. Say you want to go to, I'm going to talk about the Jackson State University because that's where I attended for a very short period of time, but made a verbal commitment, and then later I received a national letter of intent. And that now solidifies you that you are in a contract with that particular school. And that's the other thing. The NIL, the NLI, because we got the NIL, which we talked about before, and now the NLI, which is a national letter of intent. This is a bonding agreement between the athlete and an institution that guarantees the athlete scholarship in returning for committing to compete for the college for at least one academic year. You see that? That's the key part. At least one academic year. I talked about your scholarship and financial packages earlier. So make sure you understand all that. And then staying NCAA compliant post-commitment. Once committed, athletes need to ensure they remain compliant with NCAA and NAIA rules. Discuss the importance of maintaining academic standards, amateur status, and other regulations. So even though you sign with a college, mess around and hang out with your friends, do something, mess around and don't complete the last semester of school and think, well, I'm already graduating, all of that. You can lose your scholarship by not staying eligible based on the NC2A regulations and eligibility requirements. So you have to pay attention to stuff like that. Okay, so like I said, once again, you're listening to House Calls with Dr. Rory T. Edwards. You have any questions, you can send me an email. That email is rorytedwards1@gmail.com. Once again, that's Rory, RORY, TEDWARDS1 at gmail.com. If you have any questions about this, any families who are listening to this or have any concerns about how we can go further, we can definitely talk about that. But now, like I said, I'm going to give you a few gems that you can take with you for questions that you may want to ask. So you might not get them all written down now, but you can play back the video and get these questions so that when college recruiters come to your house, you need to be able to ask them questions just as well as them asking you questions. And one of the things why I'm saying this is because we talked about the portal, and college coaches, unless you're a 5-star, 4-star athlete, with the portal now being a very important factor in recruitment, college coaches would rather go with somebody who understands the college experience than taking a chance on a high school person who may not have college experience, may have some personal issues that are going on. I can go get a kid who's already been in college, just didn't fit into a program or just chose to go to a different program out of the portal. So you have to make sure that all your ducks are in a row and that you meet all of the standards of being able to be recruited. So let's talk about a few questions that you ask. One, ask about the program and team culture. Ask the coach, can you describe the team culture and how you foster team unity and discipline? And what are your core values of your program? That's one question. 2 questions you should be able to ask. What's the next one? Expectations and development. What are your expectations for the incoming freshmen, both on and off the field? How do you support player development? Are there any specialized training programs that my son or daughter will have to go through or need to have finalized before they're coming to your school? Let's move on. Academic support. What kind of academic support do athletes receive? Are there dedicated tutors or advisors for the team? Because most of the time when you go to college, I know people want to play athletics, but you're going to need the academics a lot longer in life than you're going to be able to participate in athletics. So make sure that if you're going there, get a degree from there. They want something from you, get something from them. All right, the other question, how do you help athletes balance their academic responsibilities and their athletic commitment? Okay, those are questions you need to ask, parents. Let's go to number 4, playing time and redshirting. How do you determine playing time for freshmen? Under what circumstances do you typically redshirt athletes? Because if you got to know where you are on that performance board. If you're going to a college and you don't know where you are, where you stand, and you think that you're coming in as the man and there's 4 people ahead of you, then you're not going to be the man. You're going to be the man of the bench, really. Just let me keep it 100 with you. That's what's going to happen. If you need to make sure that you're aware of where you stand on that performance board with the coaches. Now, career preparation and life after sports. How does the program prepare athletes for life after college, whether in professional sports or other careers? You need to find out what other opportunities, internships, things of that nature that the college may offer to your student athlete. Right. Next one, are there any network opportunities or programs that connect athletes with alumni? Now, what we've heard is alumni are connected by giving people money, right? But there's other ways that you can actually make a difference in some of those alumni who are there because they're financially stable. And they can help you in your future endeavors if professional sports past college is not in your wheelhouse. Okay, let's talk about number 6, scholarship and financial aid. You should ask the coach, can you explain the details of a scholarship offer? What does it cover and what expenses are out of pocket? What happens to my scholarship if I get injured or if there's a change in the coaching staff? Now, most people go and the next year the coach is fired. You don't even know what happens. The coach chooses to leave. What happens to your scholarship? These are things that parents and student athletes need to ask. Make sure that you do those. Let's go to number 7, facilities and resources. What facilities are available for the team for training, recovery, and leisure? Are there any new facilities being planned or currently under construction? Why is that important? You want to know where your child's going to be. Is your child going to be off campus? Is your child going to be on campus? Are there going to be things for them to socially grow? Are they going to be able to have places where they can balance after playing their sport? What are the things that are going to be there? And I want to know if my child gets injury, what type of facilities are you going to have that helps my child in recovering fully? And I want to know what that recovery process looks like. Those are questions you need to ask. Number 8, team schedules and travel. What does the typical season schedule look like? How much travel is involved? How are accommodations and meals handled during travel? You want to be concerned, you want to talk, this is my baby, then talk for your baby. Make sure you're adequately prepared to talk for your baby, if that's what you want to, even though the child's grown. But anyway, I know the nurturing side of parents sometimes want to make sure that everything is proper, and that's why I'm giving you these gems that can help you through there. Now, number 9, coach's background and future. Can you tell me about your background and coaching philosophy? And do you have any plans to stay with the university for the next 4 years while my child's being there? I'm going to add another question. You asked it because the coach might say, I'm going to treat your child like he is mine. Well, you ask him, does his child go to that college? If his child doesn't go to the college, then you ask him, well, if it's a great college, why don't your children go there? I mean, that might be a little, you might be pushing a little bit, but don't let somebody tell you they're going to treat your child like they're theirs if theirs are not there. You understand? So these are questions. And the last one, feedback from current or former players. You want to know if it's possible to talk to some of the current or former players about the experiences in the program. What's the best teacher? The best teacher is having someone who just went through the process to explain to you. Now, the process won't be the same for you because different experiences happen in different ways, and you may not understand the experience the same way that person experienced it. So these are things that are going to help you going forward, and these are things that are going to help you in the recruiting process. Like I said, I know school's just ending for many and has ended for some, and some of you are looking at what am I going to do going forward in college, or if you're a junior or sophomore looking at getting an athletic scholarship. Make sure that your process and programs are in order so that you are the most capable, you have the most capable opportunity for you to advance through this process. This process is not easy. It's not like back in the day where you are a good athlete, they come and get you. You don't have to have academics. You don't have to have SAT, ACT scores. You just have to play. No longer is like that, young people and parents and families. It's not like that. So with that being said, I hope this was important. What I'm going to do is I'm probably going to come back on Thursday and I'm going to talk a little bit different. I'm going to talk about something that is so very valuable to us, and it's also connected with athletics, but it's also connected with the business world. It's intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, which is really determined by pretentiousness. And so a lot of people, if you don't know, go to my website, www.rorytedwards.com. That's once again, www.rorytedwards.com. And you can get my book, The Power to the P. Pretentious is in there. And pretentious for a lot of people is real. It's basically, pretentious is the act of being something that you're not qualified to be. And so what is that about? It's almost like what the Rory T. Edwards model means. You cannot withdraw what you did not deposit. And if you can't deposit anything, you can't withdraw anything. So we're going to talk about intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, but in the life of individuals and athletes. So with that being said, I'm greatly appreciative of all the people who have joined in, all the people who will listen, and all the people who will find value in what I just delivered on the recruitment from high school to college. So with that being said, until the next time we talk, this is your man, Dr. Rory T. Edwards, and I am so very happy to be with you today on House Calls. So until we speak again, you all have a great day and enjoy what Roy Ayers said, everybody loves the sunshine. Until we talk, Ashe, be well.